Part 2. I arrived at her mom's house around 8 in the evening. I figured she would be surprised to see me since I was coming down unannounced. Since they lived in a gated community, I had to buzz her house from the front gate, so she was waiting for me outside when I drove up. I could tell that she had been crying when I walked up to see her. I asked her what was wrong and she hugged me, bawling that she thought her husband was cheating on her with a much younger, skinnier, and prettier woman. Dumbfounded, I just held her for what was probably 10 minutes. She soaked my right shoulder with her tears and snot. When she finally composed herself, I asked if we could go in and talk. We went in and I asked where her husband was and she indicated that he said he was going fishing with his buddies at a remote cabin an hour away. Then she said, he hates fishing. She gave me all the indications that she had picked up on, and apparently it had been going on for about a year. So, doing a little bit of research, we found a credit card hold charge for a 5-star hotel that was only 20 minutes away. On call later confirmed her husband was in fact there for a 4-night stay, cheating with his mistress. 2 peas in a pod, I said. What? She responded. 2 peas in a pod, I said again. Your husband is cheating on you and your daughter is cheating on me. That's why I came here to drop her stuff off and move to Forex. I showed her the evidence in a binder on screen captures I had made. After looking at the first 3 or 4 pages, she looked at me dumbfounded. We both hugged and cried for a good 30 minutes. At that point she said stop crying and looked at me and said, well, tonight there is nothing we can do about it except for you and I to knock out these 3 bottles of Moscato and duck in every room of the house. She grabbed 2 wine glasses and a bottle of Moscato wine and walked out to their private pool deck saying, are you coming out here or are you going to get ducking revenge? Now I won't go into much detail because I don't want to get blue balls, but that night and for the next 3 days we ducked non-stop. I put myself in every hole her beautiful body could offer. I must have met in or on her 25 plus times in that period. After those days were over, we passionately said goodbye and I drove to my new destination. She kept me informed as to everything that happened when now ex-fiancé got back. The day fiancé got back was epic. I canceled my phone the morning of the day she got back. So when the plane landed and she called for a ride, it indicated the phone was disconnected. She apparently had her lover take her home. He dropped her off and left. When she came to the door, a strange couple, new tenants, answered the door and she freaked out. I can't tell you how many times she tried to call me because again the number was no longer valid. She went to her girlfriend's to stay for a time as coworker was already married. When she called her mom in a panic, her mom told her that I had come down and dropped off all her things and mentioned that all her monies were down there as well. 600 miles away. Her mom didn't tell her that she had fk'd me more in 3 days than fiancé and I had in the last 6 months. But she did tell her that she knew that she was cheating on me, and I said I had found a new job, place to stay and new career far away from her and all the friends we had. And that her mother was separating from her father due to infidelity. Apparently she cried for days and took a week off of work. But alas, she found comfort in the arms of her married lover. Her mom never let her know where I was at. I had completely cut off that part of my life. The only link I had to that old life was fiancé's mom. And she has kept our secret to this day. Fiancé was ghosted the mosted. TLDR, fiancé cheated. Ghosted her life to start my own. Got with her mom. Comment 1. I'm glad reading the update you didn't attempt to repair it. People that have love and cheat for time alone fit into the saying once a hoe always a hoe, like once a dog always a dog. Without paid, most of us cannot learn our lessons permanently since the pain reinforces the behavior and work can count as that as long as it's not easy. I personally cannot see taking a perfectly good relationship where the time is still there and you care about them and take such a risk, but I also don't gamble or anything else risky except for the person I'm in love with. Then there is nothing I won't try to attempt. Where I won't die or end in prison are the only things I won't do, since those indicate I wasn't using my brain at all. Comment 2. I heard this on a Reddit YouTube video. First, after reading this and the update, I don't think this post deserves to be nuclear revenge. More like pro-revenge. But, it is what it is. Second, my God. This is perfect. It's a perfect breakup plan to get rid of cheater. And on a co-worker. Ain't there a policy about that? I would done the same thing. But even further. If you have any shared debts, put it all on your cheating lover, fiancé, or spouse and speak all of the collections and explain in detail. They might not do this. It would be better if it was a divorce. I think they would honor that. Comment 3. Smooth operator. You did right by yourself. If you had gotten angry or violent, she could have turned the tables on you, gotten you arrested and your career destroyed, or at least had public sympathy on her side despite being at fault. The fact that her father was cheating on her mother was sad as well. Both of them had everything they could want and they still stepped out of the line. BTW, like with many others here, I do feel that not telling the wife of your ex-fiancé's coworker is a missing thread. Just like you and your ex-fiancé's mom, she is being cheated upon as well. She deserves to know, and that guy, who hit on and was 50% responsible for your ex-fiancé cheating on you, should pay some price for it. Otherwise, he is going to wreck another person's relationship as well. Also, they weren't your friends at all. Friends have each other's backs no matter what. These twats are just fair-weather acquaintances who had you both as props and entertainment when all was good, then dumped you both when things started turning out bad. They didn't even have the good nature to tell you the truth. Kudos to you for having the decisiveness to cut them out cleanly. I really appreciated that part. Too many people are too afraid to cut out toxic people due to fear of loneliness, etc., and end up in more pain. Finally, I wish you the best in your new life. Hope this has not soured your heart for relationships such as once bitten twice shy. Be cautious but open and see what life offers you. Stay safe and live well. Comment 4. You did what you needed to for your own emotional health. Do you think you would have been able to forgive and trust her again after seeing her and her partner having time in your own place? Especially since she never owned up to it before the nuclear revenge. Maybe if she had owned up to it and wanted to repair the relationship before the vacation, it might have been worth it. But the fact she started cheating so soon after the engagement tells me she really wasn't that in love with you. I applaud you on your preparation and focus in really quickly building a new life for yourself. And thank you for the update. How is your new life going? Comment 5. Here is a little bit of the aftermath that happened. As for the timing of the events that let me leave her, a lot of it was extremely fortunate timing for the lease ending, the job search success, and the phone plan ending. Things could have gone down much differently had any of those things been different. Aftermath. My ex-fiancé's mother, EFM, kept in touch with me for several months afterwards since we had a mutual loss of relationships and shared in a revenge of sorts against our SOs. However, neither of our respective SOs found out what happened between EFM and I. EFM eventually came out to see me after 7 months in my new location. But much to many of you guys' disappointment, we only talked. We both actually regretted what we had done together but acknowledged that it was in the past and in the heat of the moment. Days of heat and moments. She said that her daughter knew that she, EFM, knew where I was and was very upset that she would not divulge my location. EFM asked if she could tell ex-fiancé where I was and give her a way to contact me. But I asked that she not tell her as I was in my new life. EFM and I talked extensively about the possibility of her and her SO staying together and work it out. EFM said her husband was extremely remorseful and came clean on everything. EFM said it was a lot to take in and had asked him what he was going to do to earn back her trust. He gave her all his digital passwords and let her see everything he had ever done to hurt their marriage. EFM ended up being very angry but recognized that he was actually trying to repair the marriage. EFM said her forgiveness to him would come in time, but the trust would take longer. What caused him to snap back into reality was that she confronted him about the affair and showed him the evidence of what his daughter had done to me. Also, EFM was an amazing woman in every way imaginable. She also stated that if he went outside the marriage then she would be allowed to do so again. He picked up on the again phrase and asked her what she meant. She told him that as soon as she found out he was cheating that she fucked the first eligible guy she found. He was devastated. EFM said they cried a lot and agreed to separate for a short time to give each other time to articulate their thoughts and see if they both wanted to fight for the marriage. Eventually they went to marriage counseling and are still together as of May 2020. As for ex-fiancé, well, she was devastated by what I had done to her. When she finally went to her parents to gather her things, she was shown the evidence of the affair and was extremely embarrassed. EFM had to edit the binder so that when her father saw it he would not see pictures a father should not see of his daughter. Regardless, ex-fiancé was crushed. She did not find out that her mother had my contact information until months later. Ex begged her mother for my information and it put quite the strain on their relationship, but her mother also told her that if she had tried to find and or contact me that all the evidence would be released forever on the internet by me. This insistence of ex-fiancé to divulge my information is what prompted her to come and see me. She was also upset about her parents having trouble in their marriage. According to EFM, ex-fiancé was depressed for several months and sought counseling. She had immediately broke off the affair with coworker once she returned from her parents' place in Louisville, Kentucky and looked to find a new place of employment. Recently, Deck 2019, I found out that she was married and has 2 beautiful twin daughters with a stand-up guy and still lives in the DC area. According to EFM, she now worked from home and was loving her new life. I'm glad that she was able to right her foundering ship and have a happy start in life again. I recently destroyed all the incriminating evidence I had on ex-fiancé as I didn't want to be that guy who would hold her hostage for the rest of her life. I did ask EFM to let ex-fiancé know this. If I had been on the potential receiving end of that information bomb, then it would have caused me many sleepless nights. As for myself, well, let's just say I am satisfied with my current life. EFM and I talked every few months initially, but now we talk once / maybe twice a year. Usually it's a short note updating each other on life's little changes. The only question that remains unanswered for me is that if EFM and her husband were able to repair their marriage, would it have been possible for ex-fiancé and I to have repaired ours? But I never gave it the chance. One can only speculate. Our lives are on vastly different planes now. Thanks you for watching. Everyday new movies. See you soon.